Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna do another No More Mr. Nice Guy, episode 7, self-approval. Gonna take a look at what that is, self-approval for nice guys, what are the benefits, how to do it. Let's get into it. So we're gonna take a look at self-approval, right? To become, to become your authentic self and recover from the nice guy syndrome. Let's take a look at that. And when a nice guy focuses on themselves, what are the benefits? We're going to take a look at that as well today. So first, let's do being your authentic self and recovering from the nice guy syndrome. In order to do that, you'll need to change your mental model or your paradigm. In Robert Glover's No More Mr. Nice Guy book, he calls it a paradigm. I will call it a mental model. And to do this, you should stop looking for external validation and avoiding disapproval. In other words, stop looking for for approval from other people or things outside of yourself. It can be the attachments or approval from other people. And avoid disapproval. Well, we said that already. The validation. Nice guys should start looking for approval of the only person who matters. So who is the only person that matters, that should get approval from? That is yourself. Right? Nice guys should get approval from themselves. Essentially, the only person who should be validating you or you should be getting approval is yourself. To become authentic. And then the next part, when nice guys focus on themselves. So when the nice guys focus on themselves, some things start to happen, right? They will start to have intimacy as well as connection with others that they didn't have before, and what they really want. It's because nice guys crave this connection. This is the connection that they really want, the intimacy that they would really like in their relationships. So when you start becoming authentic and start getting self-approval, your intimacy in your relationships will be better, your connection with others will be better. And here are a few examples that Robert Glover gives. These will be the next few chapters. We'll dive into these. These are a few ways of how you become self-approved or authentic. So what we'll be looking at in the next slide is we're looking at the first one. Identify how they seek approval. How nice guys seek approval. That's what this chapter will be about, or this video will be how you seek approval. Let's go to the next one. So, approval seeking behavior. It's the first one we're going to look at. Nice guys learn to approve of themselves by first identifying the approval seeking behaviors. So before a nice guy can start approving of himself, he first has to see or identify what are these approval seeking behaviors that I have. We'll go on to some here a little bit later. All right. Next is nice guys have to practice being themselves. This might sound strange, but it makes sense. Nice guys will have to practice being themselves. Nice guys have spent such a long time always changing themselves, hiding who they are, to get the approval, the validation of other people. So they've made themselves into this mold that other people, what they think other people want them to be. And in that process, nice guys, again, myself included, have lost who they really are. And a way to start doing this, to start finding yourself again, or practice being yourself, is first step is to pay attention to ways or when you try to impress or get approval. Pay attention to those traits, I would presume. And then you'll start to see things. Another one is to observe self. Right? So nice guys can observe themselves. For example, spending time or extra time on their hair. Sorry. Or cleaning the kitchen. Ask yourself, are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it because it needs to be done? Are you doing it to be noticed or get a thank you in return? Cleaning the kitchen. Are you doing it to get your partner or wife or whoever to praise you or notice the hard work you're doing? Or are you doing it because it needs to be done? All these little things you start, if you start looking at it, you'll start noticing a bunch of things that you do, that's not for yourself. It's more of just to be noticed and get the approval or validation of other people. Right? So as you become aware of the time and energy that you spend trying to get approval, if you keep on observing it, you will start to turn inwards. You will start to ask yourself the important questions. So once you get to the point where you start being aware of all these things, you're going to get to a place where you can ask yourself these questions, right? What do I want? What do I want? What feels right? And what would make me happy? What essentially does that mean? Well, let's say you're cleaning the kitchen to get your wife to come say thank you and praise you. Then you ask yourself, what do I want? Do I want to clean the kitchen just for that, or do I want to clean the kitchen because it's dirty and it needs to be cleaned? Or doing your hair, are you doing it to get praised? Are you doing it because you want to, or are you doing it for their approval? There's many examples. Some more examples are, well, Robert Glover, in the next one here is Kyle. Robert Glover uses Kyle as an example again. Basically, they had a session. He asked Kyle to write down a list of all his approval-seeking behaviors. And he came back, and then Robert Glover told him to choose one and to stop doing that for a month. And he chose to stop cleaning the car, because he would always clean the car, vacuum, wash it, make sure it's always clean. And he did that for a month, and during the process, no one left him, no one stopped loving him, no one brought up the dirty car, no one told him that he was bad. This is a short version, obviously, Um, so in that way, he learned that okay, the seeking approval through the behavior had no effect on the people that loved him, and he also discovered that he really just wants to wash the car for himself. He doesn't like the car being dirty, which I can agree. So, you'll start noticing things as you go along. What feels right? So, when you do something, does it feel right inside? Do you feel agitated? Do you feel that you regret doing it? Start noticing your inner self in a sense. How do you feel doing things? Are you doing it because you want to do it, or are you doing it just to get along and you don't feel well about it? And another one is, what would make you happy? What would make me happy? Ask yourself, like, okay, am I happy doing this? Again, you don't always be happy. Um, that is not attainable. You can never always be 24/7 happy, nor should you be. It is the not feeling well or the downfalls and up and down that makes the happy times good. Um, so yeah, but in a sense, like, what would make you happy? What would make you not angry at the person, not feel wronged, or that you had to hide yourself, in a sense? So I see how that's what we did. A way to do this: observe self. So the observe self, I'll go back to that one. You're gonna have that one's gonna take a while, I would think. I'm still struggling or busy with this one to observe self on everything I'm doing. You gotta remind yourself, like, check. Okay, are you doing it because it needs to be done, because you want something out of it, you want to be noticed, you want to be praised? And the more you practice this, the more you try to keep reminding yourself to check, what are you doing and what are you doing it for, the easier it becomes to notice more of these behaviors. And then again, that's how you become aware. It comes over time. So you won't get it immediately, but if you keep reinforcing it, it will eventually pick up. And the next part is the breaking free. All right. So can incorporate the important questions with this as well. So I will link it in the video somewhere. Um, you go back. I think it's the beginning of this chapter, chapter 3, where Robert Glover puts in a list of approval seeking behaviors. I'll link the video in here. So what you'll essentially do is you'll go back to that list of approval seeking behaviors at the beginning of this chapter. Choose one of the ways, or even you can go back to your list. Actually, I think that would be much better. Go back to your list that you made it from the previous video and choose one of the ways you try to get external validation, and do one of the following, right? So stop doing this behavior. Set a period of time that you want to stop doing it. And you can tell people around you what you are doing. You don't have to, in my opinion. Um, Depending on what the behavior is and what it is you're trying to stop, if it's going to cause a major problem, if it's something big that you're changing or you're stopping, I would then give people a heads up. Um, and if you slip, you can either tell someone or journal about it. Where did you slip? Why did you slip? Take some information about why it happened. Think about it. What was the reason, or what triggered this slip, so that you can get a more better understanding. Um, and then why in that particular moment you felt you need to get the external validation from that approval seeking behavior. The next thing you can do is consciously do more of this behavior. This one, as Robert Glover says, this may not make logical sense, but it is a way or a powerful way to explore any dysfunctional behavior. I haven't personally done this one yet. Um, Observe how you feel when you consciously try harder. Actually, I have done this one um, in an indirect way. So, and I feel worse afterwards. So, observe how you feel when you consciously try harder to get the external validation. So if you see it's not working, try even harder, and see how you feel after that. I can guarantee you'll become aware of it and you will feel not so well, not so good about it. So yeah, that's it for this video. Um, it's a shorter one, I think. Not as much information. I'm breaking it down a bit more, making it easier to go through. But yeah, I think that's it. Comment down below anything you think I could have added in, or anything you don't agree with, you do agree with. Some maybe of the approval seeking behaviors that you are doing, that, or even tell me which ones are you going to stop doing and for how long. See how that goes. Again, any criticism, constructive criticism is welcome. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.